Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Philip Port. I've been an immigration advisor for more than 20 years and today we're going to speak about 12 common mistakes that people make when completing the British application form. Most common mistake is not mentioning friends or family in the UK. This is a big mistake. It's a big plus if you go into the United Kingdom. America, I agree with you. America, I'm not sure about. I can understand why people don't mention friends or family if they're applying for an American visa, but for the British visa, it is a big plus if you have friends or family in the UK and you can show that you're in regular contact. Maybe, let's say you've got a boyfriend in the UK and he's got Russian visas. Let's say you're from Russia, a nice Russian lady, and they visited you in Russia, show the visa. You must show that you've remained in contact. You must show that you're friends. And he must give you an invitation letter. He cannot pay for your trip because he's not a close family member, but he can give you an invitation letter saying you can stay with me as long as you can show that you've met. And what that does, it means that every time you fly to the UK and they ask, why are you coming to the UK so often? I'm visiting my boyfriend. And that is fine. As long as you go for a couple of weeks each visit, 2-3 weeks, you're not going to get refused entry. So always mention friends and family in the UK. It is a big plus, as long as you show the relationship or you show the friendship through photographs and visas and hotel bookings. Second common mistake is you've completed the application form, you've got the visa, you go to England, and then you apply again for a visa. And you forget what you put on your previous visa. Now, if, for example, you put the wrong start dates of employment, let's say you're working for the same company but different start dates, that's going to trigger an investigation. They're going to investigate. On first application, you mentioned you started work in 2015. Now you say that you started work in 2018. So that is a common mistake. Always keep the previous application and make sure you don't contradict what you put on that application. And that's always is why people get 10-year bans. That's always why an investigation is triggered. Very, very important. Always show the relationship. If you're visiting your sister, show the birth certificates to show that you have the same parents. If you're visiting your daughter or son, show the birth certificates, show their birth certificates to show that you're the father or the mother. Very important. Show the relationships. That's the third common mistake. Common mistake is number 4. Fourth common mistake is you don't have the money to go. So you go to a friend, you borrow the cash, you put it on the bank statements, apply for the visa. They're going to refuse if that money hasn't come from your employer. You're allowed lump sums when it's salary, but you can't just give them a bank statement just before you apply for the visa, showing that you put in 60, 70,000 rubles or Swiss francs or whatever currency. You can't put lump sums before you apply for the visa. If you do, and it's not from your employer, it will either trigger an investigation or probably will lead to just a simple refusal, and they'll just say, look, we do not believe you have the funds available, and they refused. Another common mistake, you stayed too long in the UK. These visas, although you're given a minimum of 6 months multiple visa, even though you've got 6 months multiple visa, these visas are designed for short stays. You come for 2-3 weeks holiday, you go back. You come for 2-3 weeks to see your family, you go back. They're not designed for you to live permanently in the UK. You cannot make the UK your home. And obviously, if you spent 5-6 months in the UK, how can you do your job in Russia or in Turkey or in Brazil, wherever you're from? That means probably you worked in the UK. That also applies, if you've been, let's say you're from Russia and you spent 6 months in Germany. It's gonna trigger an investigation why you stayed so long in Germany or France. You're a Russian citizen or a Turkish citizen, Brazilian. You should be living and working in your home country. How can you be there for so long? So if you've spent a long period of time in another country, explain why. I went there for business, something like that, and make sure it doesn't contradict your employment letter, because you couldn't be 6 months in Germany and also working in your home country at the same time. Another common mistake is supplying the wrong documentation. It's very important. The most common documentation you need is employment letter, bank statements, and an invitation letter, or you will need a hotel booking. Most people need a lot more. You might need to show documents of family ties in your home country, like if you've got a marriage certificate and birth certificates, you're not going to leave your wife and kids. So you've got to do that. I am mentioning Russia a lot because that's where most of my clients are from Russia. So for this video, I'm going to give Russia as an example. Another common mistake, never supply fake documents. There is always a solution. Now, let's say you're an English teacher and you get paid cash in hand. Supply letters from your students. Explain it. Say, look, I am an English teacher. My students pay me cash in hand. This is my website. This is my business card. Make sure you explain why and get some character references from your students saying, what a great teacher. She teaches me 4 times a week. I pay 3,000 rubles. Make sure you supply that. There is always an alternative to fake documents. Obviously, if you've got money to go to England, it came from somewhere. Now, another common mistake, you go to England, you get a speeding ticket, you use the healthcare system, and you don't mention it on the application form. They can see it instantly. So always mention it and make sure you paid. If you've had health care in the UK, and I think the figure is about £800, which you're allowed free. If it's above that, make sure you pay. But again, they don't like it. Even if it's £200-300 worth of health care, they don't like it. If you've had a speeding ticket, make sure you pay it. And on the questionnaire, when it says, have you had a speeding ticket, just put, I had a speeding ticket, I had a fine for parking when I was in England, I paid them. And that's it, just put it in additional information. So as long as you do that, that is fine. Now, another common mistake, you're a student, you're at university, and you apply for a British visa, and you put down your travel dates in October, November. The problem is with that, the entry clearance officer will not understand why you're not at university. You should be studying. Obviously, you're a university graduate. How can you get the time? So if it's a holiday, explain. If you've got time off from the university, because for whatever reason, explain it in the additional information that I can travel during this period because of this. June, July, August, fine. You don't need to explain it. The entry clearance officer understands that you've got a holiday, and that is perfectly fine. I spoke about it earlier. Make sure you show family ties to your home country. So if it's Russia, and you've got a wife and children, show them ties. Very important. It's a common mistake. you know, in the past, I've had clients who didn't have family, so we supplied photographs of their dogs. We explained, look, I've got a horse, I've got a dog. We've done that on a couple of occasions where we've shown they don't have family, but they have pets. You're not going to leave your dog and your horse and your veterinary fees, and we used stable fees as evidence to show family ties. That was because it was a very weak case, and it was a very extreme situation where it was low salary, she just started work, a limited travel history. So that's why we started to scrape the bottom of the barrel and just find any reason to show strong ties to Russia. And last but not least, the 12th common mistake is not using somebody like me. You should always use an immigration advisor. You've got to understand that there is 30,000 immigration advisors and solicitors in the UK, and the Home Office have to keep them in a job. They have to keep them working. They pay insurance bonding, they pay license fees, and they pay value-added tax. So these applications, in my opinion, are designed to trip people up, for people to make mistakes. And obviously then you come to me with a refusal, or you go to a solicitor in the UK, and it can end up costing you thousands, absolutely thousands. So always use an immigration advisor. I'm here to offer you free advice. Please drop me an email. Please visit my website. Please press subscribe and like, and I'll happily give you a little bit of free advice. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. As I just said, please subscribe. Please press like if you like the video. Thank you very much for visiting. Thank you.